Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'm going to show you some of my favorite house plants and you'll know why in a while. So let's look at some plants. Right, so this is the first plant I'm going to show you. Isn't this amazing? Okay, let me just step back and show you just the plant. Okay, this is an anthurium. This is Anthurium vitarifolium. For you guys who have watched my previous videos, I've shown this a few times on YouTube before. And yeah, but I got to show you again because check out this leaf. This is actually the longest leaf that I have. I think it's about 60 cm, and this is the newest. Oh, not the newest. I think this particular one is the newest. It's still pretty soft, as you can see, but it is still growing, so it might surpass this. But currently, this is the second newest, and wow, isn't this amazing? I love this anthurium. And I'm really proud because this was actually grown from mere seedlings 2 years back. For those who are impatient, you can just get it in its adult form. I'm just going to show you the side view, which is really nice as well. So the way to style this is actually to place this in a pot that is very elevated from the ground. Because of the growth structure, the leaves will be hanging down. So I think it'll look really nice. Alternatively, you can actually hang this up and present this as a hanging plant. That would be a really interesting look. Look at the subtle texture that's on the leaf. And I like most anthuriums, which are pretty fussy due to my lack of humidity. This is actually pretty fuss-free. I don't have any browning or yellowing tips. It is in this plastic net pot which gets a lot of aeration together with this very loose aeroid mix, and also I top dress this with sphagnum moss to help it to retain some humidity. The top leaves, the older leaves, are actually smaller and drier. I realized that I tend to underwater this, but with such loose potting medium, I think I can afford to water this more, because if you let it dry out too much, the new leaf will actually grow in a very odd, very weird manner. Yeah, and I want to show you this. I'm not sure what are these growth points here. They don't look like the regular new growth, new leaf, because the regular growth will actually look like this. Can you see? Over here. So this is a new leaf, but these growth points look totally different. Wait, are these aerial roots? Maybe. For those who are familiar, do let me know in the comments below. Okay, so the first house plant is this Anthurium vitarifolium. I am obsessed. I think it has the potential to grow way much longer, but I'm very happy with this. Okay, this is the next plant. This is an Aglaonema hybrid. Right, so this Aglaonema is a hybrid between the popular Aglaonema pitum tricolor, you know, the one with those beautiful camouflage patterns on the leaves, as well as the Aglaonema rotundum with its very striking pink veins. So as you can see, this hybrid has the best of both worlds. The camouflage patterns here, as well as the fluorescent pink veins. This hybrid was labeled as the Aglaonema Suruso Army when I first bought it. I'm not sure whether is that the common hybrid name, but it was labeled as such, and I would say is pretty appropriate. But the colors on my specimen is not particularly intense. You can see the pink is a little bit lighter, and overall the colors are lighter. So I'm not sure whether is this the characteristic of this hybrid, but I'm actually giving it pretty bright light, so I'm not sure whether is that the reason that the colors are not richer. Perhaps I should move it to a lower light location and see if the colors will deepen. This being an agronema is supposedly to be a very easy plant, is an easy genus. It was a 2-leaf cutting when I first got it, which I'll put a photo here. Since then, it has sprouted more leaves. I've lost one of the original leaves. It had turned yellow, but that's okay as long as it continues to give me new leaves and to continue growing. So I've not repotted this since I got it. And I usually try to keep the potting medium moist. I will not let it dry out because it doesn't like it. Once it gets too dry, the leaves will start to be really limp. Of the leaves actually kind of reminds me of a calathea, which I used to have. I think it's calathea peacock or something. Alright, the next plant comes with a buddy, which is not meant to be. Okay, this is the variegated version of the Synapsis Jade Satin. I have 2 more. The other one is variegated as well, but that is a half moon variegation. I will put a photo up here. And the other one that I have is just the regular one, the green variety, the non-variegated one. And that is not doing well at all. As you can see, it has a lot of yellowing leaves. I think its current location is not really suitable. It gets way too much light. The green variety doesn't need so much light because sometimes you get direct sun. Yeah, it struggles a little bit. But okay, we're talking about this variegated version. It gets a little bit brighter light to retain this beautiful variegation. And this particular one, okay, if you are thinking, why am I holding 2 pots? Okay, this is a pot of propagation of Dieffenbachia reflector. I don't think you can see that I'm experimenting with. And it happens that this is just sitting next to this pot of Synapsis. And as this starts to grow, it got rooted into the potting medium. And I was trying to remove it earlier on, but it's very deeply rooted. So I will try to remove this after the video. I actually do need to propagate this. As you can see, it's grown this really long vine. I'm going to snip this off and propagate the rest. I wanted to give you a moss pole when it was just a cutting. When I first got it, it was only a 3-leaf cutting. So yep, as usual, I procrastinated and yep, this is what happens. So this Synapsis has this beautiful variegation. It comes out yellow with this kind of marbly variegation. So as the leaves mature, the variegation will mellow down into this creamy white variegation. So watch out for a future video whereby I'll propagate this as well as the other half moon variegated Synapsis. I love the green form, but this is truly beautiful. Wow, look at this. My next plant is this Philodendron maximum, and how fast it has grown within a matter of months. I actually needed to extend the moss pole in a matter of 3 weeks, and whoa, this is actually good for a thumbnail. Right, this is definitely one of my favorite philodendrons. Really proud of this because I got this as a single leaf cutting only in May this year. And yeah, I'll put a photo up here. That was a really big leaf, but recently it just turned yellow and dropped off after serving its purpose. But the stem is still here. See this black part? After I've repotted the cutting, it grew another vine which grew into this magnificent plant. Look at this. Wow. And it's always putting out a new leaf. And look at all these aerial roots. And the older bottom leaves are much smaller. Compare this to the newer leaves. So I think this is the biggest leaf that I have. Look at this versus the first one. So it really benefits from having a moss pole. I gave it a moss pot in September, but shortly after, it started to outgrow the moss pot, and I have to extend this very quickly. Look at all the roots. They're enjoying the moss. Very healthy roots. So this is not the biggest it can grow. I'm sure it has the potential to put out much bigger leaves. And I think this philodendron is a good candidate to let it grow against the wall, climb up the wall, and I'm sure the leaves will get super huge, just like its namesake. And look at this leaf. This is actually so soft and pillowy, just like the Pastazanum or the McDowell. Okay, but it has started to grow off the moss pole, and yeah, this new branch has so many aerial roots that is crying out for a pole or something to latch on. But I'm not sure how tall can I actually extend this pole. Maybe I should just cut it off here and propagate the top cutting. So this is my philodendron maximum. You'll get to see more of it in future videos, I'm very sure. Maybe I'll do a propagation video of this philodendron in the near future. Let me know if you would like to watch that. Alright, and finally I have this couple of baby anthuriums. This is the Anthurium forgetii, dub form, and this is a hybrid of red crystallinum x wild crystallinum. Okay, I got these two babies relatively recently. I think slightly more than a month, middle of November. This is supposedly to be the hybrid of the red crystallinum x wild crystallinum, but I'm not sure whether is that the actual ID, because I got it at a pretty good price, as I know that pure red crystallinums are really expensive currently. But maybe because this is a hybrid, so yeah, but it's still really nice. As you can see, this is a new leaf, as the color is a shade of bronze, and it will slowly turn green. And if you look closely, you can see the pink edges along the leaf. The new leaf, this will actually fade off as the leaf matures. I used to have a pure crystallinum before in my previous apartment, and that was a much bigger specimen. So even though that was pretty prolific, I always get blemishes on the leaves, yellowing leaves, the crispy edges, because of my humidity level, and I tend to underwater that. So when I got this, I told myself that I would try to keep this a little bit on the moist side. Don't let it dry out totally, and of course I've added this layer of sphagnum moss for humidity. So far it is doing okay. As you can see, the yellow tips are here as well. So I know this is not going to be totally blemish free, but I think it's still looking better than my previous one. So this is still really small, so I can't wait for it to grow a little bit bigger. Strangely, I thought the veins of the leaf, even the shape of it, kind of reminds me of forgetii. Yeah, especially this one with that very forgetii kind of veins. Okay, speaking of forgetii, this is the real McCoy. This is supposed to be the duck form. Let me see, there's a tag here. Yep, forgetii, NSE duck. I'm doubtful this is from NSE, but anyway, it's very pretty. Still very young though, the leaves are really small. Okay, this is starting to turn yellow. Even though they are not really dark, maybe they are still young. So I wonder, does the color darken once the plant is more mature? So I'm very excited to see these two pots of baby anthuriums growing into adulthood. I'm actually loving those dark form of anthuriums like the papillinum. I think there's a hybrid that's called Dark Phoenix that is really gorgeous. But yeah, I'm still pretty cautious about my anthuriums because based on my experience, they don't really look very pretty for long. So this is the longest that I've maintained them. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on these two in a future video. So these are some of the plants that I'm really vibing with currently. Do you have any of this? And if you do, how do you take care of them? So thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the contents that I've put out for the past year. Have a great year, everyone. Happy New Year to you guys. Meanwhile, take care, be safe, and I'll see you again in my next video. Remember to show your plants some love.